Really glad that you guys are here. I think you're going to really love this. And if you do have any questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. I'm going to keep an eye on that for you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Doug with Life Sherpa.
Great, thank you, Dustin.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and share here if I could. Okay, so again, my name is Doug Meeker. I'm the CEO and founder of Life Sherpa. We're based outside of Washington, D.C. Life Sherpa is a digital coaching platform that grew out of, I have a son on the autism spectrum. So I'm going to give you a little background about how we got there and how we ended up building out a platform to work with service organizations and a number of other types of organization interested in leveraging the platform. So several years ago, I was approached by, my background's in technology, I was approached by a group of behavioralist therapists. And we talked a lot about how to make therapy easier for parents and for kids. And at this time, my son was struggling with executive functioning challenges. You know, he was brushing his teeth for a minute. And the whole idea originally around Life Sherpa was to make it easy for the kid, the parent, and the behavioralist to really drive the types of life skills and behaviors that we needed to do at home while reducing the friction for parents. For any of you that have kids on the spectrum or have worked with them, you know it can be a daily struggle to get things done. So our whole concept was, how could we leverage the phone that was already in Scott's pocket? And in addition to that, we saw that others like Scott picked up the iPad and basically the touch and visual interface in a modern smart device kind of broke through a lot of the cognitive devices, the cognitive challenges. So the idea was, how do we leverage that further? And as part of that, I was also looking at what was going to happen in the next few years and the challenges that people with disabilities like Scott are facing out in the marketplace, and how is this going to impact their ability to be independent? And that started a journey for us. We started talking to and understanding the needs from a wide variety of organizations. I spent time at a sheltered workshop in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We spoke to Microsoft and SAP and all these programs that were looking to hire neurodiverse people. We started talking to universities, and one of the things that struck us was this whole issue around coaching and the ability or the challenges to scaling programs because of labor shortages and getting the right types of people. And our goal was, hey, can we build a platform that could help take the place of that human coach with a digital coach so that programs could scale their efforts? So I'm going to tell you more about the platform now through 4 personas, and hopefully that will give you an idea of kind of what we're up to. This is Zach. Has a developmental disability. He's got challenges with staying focused. Reasonably typical case study, but he was lucky. He was enrolled in an innovative program here in the Washington, D.C. area at George Mason University. And that program started to look into using digital technology, assistive technology, to help Zach not only learn life skills, but more importantly, to really help him in a job environment. So the idea was, hey, could we use assistive technology to help fade the job coach and help somebody like Zach stay on task in a job setting? The good news is Zach is off the couch, not playing video games, and is now out in the workplace. At the other end of the spectrum, if you will, this is Jake. Brilliant around computers, but struggled with, and we learned a lot about this as we got into working with employment, struggled with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, had challenges if somebody scheduled a meeting on top of another meeting, you know, typical workplace things that many of us deal with. But again, he was lucky. He got involved with a very innovative program that launched in Australia with DXC technology. DXC used to be Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. But the Dandelion program was created to help neurodiverse individuals move into high demand jobs: cybersecurity, forensics, data analytics, and other IT roles. So the good news is that Jake is now in a bunker out in the outback doing cybersecurity and prospering in his new role. And a big part of that was the use of assistive technology to help him stay connected to his coaches. So the punchline to all of this is that they're using a platform called LifeSherpa that we've developed over the last few years that uses notifications, step-by-step reminders, the ability to communicate, the ability to set status, a whole host of digital tools, if you will, that very importantly can be customized to the individual by the organization to build a digital scaffolding, if you will, around that individual to help them succeed at whatever they're doing. So the people that we're really working with are innovators. This is Robin Moyer. She was in charge of research and assistive technology at the George Mason Life program. Her challenge was she had an app for cooking and an app for this and an app for that and an app for that. And as we know, that meant different usernames, different passwords, different UIs, and for her, no way to collect data across all of those activities. And we started working with Robin very early in the development of the platform, and we quickly saw the ability to provide a platform that could give her all of those use cases. So life skills, job skills, whatever it was, one platform, one way to collect data. She's the one that designed the program to help the job coaches move out of the workspace that helped Zach become more independent. On the other side of this is Michael Fieldhouse. Michael is one of the godfathers of the Autism at Work coalition, which includes companies like SAP and E&Y and Microsoft. And at DXC, they were very successful with the Dandelion program, but one of the challenges that they had was as they got more successful, clients wanted to utilize more of these individuals at remote locations, like Jake. But their model was really based around putting support people at every location. And what we did with LifeSherpa was really help them take their support ratios from, say, 1 to 5 to 1 to 10 to 1 to 15 to 1 to 20. So now they can support individuals like Jake at a variety of locations using one centralized support staff. And that was a big component to them being able to scale the program there. And they're just now getting ready to launch in the United Kingdom and in other countries. So what we do in a nutshell for organizations like yours is we help you build a customized digital coaching solution. And as you'll see here, we brand it to the organization that we work with. And a big part of that has helped us drive uptake and engagement. It becomes the app, so to speak, for the organization. And we help you amplify your ability to remind and reinforce not only clients, but also coaches. We help you teach. You can input course content. We have our own learning management system, or you can plug in your links to your own learning management system. We help you communicate. We have our own video calling and texting, all done in a secure way, so no private information is exchanged. And we can also help you monitor and track engagement with the platform. And our philosophy has just grown to how do we provide a way to support someone, whether they're at home, whether they're at work, whether they're at school, whatever that environment. And then how do we build in the support networks which naturally come in those environments. So there may be a support circle at school or support circle at home or support circle at work. How do we wire this all together through mobile devices to really help that individual become more independent in whatever environment that they are in? So we are what started as an app has grown into a full software as a service platform. There's an app for the client, there's an app for the coach. You build all this through an administrative desktop console that we help train you on. Then there's training content and other resources to help you build out programs. And then we have an analytics back end that can collect data and help you build dashboards. So what I'm gonna do right now is actually go out to the phones to give you just a quick idea of how all this works. So over here on your left-hand side is Bob. Bob is actually a participant. And over here on your, I'm sorry, on your right-hand side, this could be the phone of a job coach, a residential assistant, anyone that is managing multiple people. And you could have a number of people that are actually a part of that circle. Some that are just observing, some that are actually managing. Again, a big lesson that we took away in our journey is the need to customize with every organization and then for every individual. In fact, one of the early stories is that we went to a conference and we had a couple of organizations in this space come up to us and go, hey, we've got all this content and methodology that we've developed over the 30 years. We were going to build our own app. Can we just plug it into your app? And of course, the answer is yes. So that's really been our focus, which has been functionality and a way to help organizations adapt to whatever their needs are. So here's an example. This was an onboarding routine that we built for a group. And what you'll see over here on the right-hand side that as you go through a step-by-step routine, you can actually monitor and track every step. We timestamp every interaction. But this gives you the ability to see how they're doing, when they're doing. All of the pictures and text that you see here on the left-hand side, that's all customized to whatever your needs. You can put in your own pictures. You don't have to put any pictures in, but this is a very immersive step-by-step routine. And it doesn't have to be this immersive. It could be a checklist. It could be a series of notifications. Whatever works for that particular individual in that environment. Okay, so that's one step. Here's a vocational one that we created for a group, and in this case, again, we have hit the wrong one. Okay, we're going to move up here to dining room tasks. There we go. So this was for a group that we were training in food service. Okay, and again, it can be step by step. You could put in pictures. You can put in reinforcement. I'm going to show you how that works here. Okay, so at any time, individuals can go out and get assistance if they need. We can build in videos. In this case, it's a video to help them, remind them how to fold napkins. And then at any time, they can also go out to their coach. This was a big thing that we learned early on, was that they wanted a connection back to their support circle and vice versa. And they also wanted that connection in a way that didn't share personal information. So we have basically API'd in our own video calling platform. And again, we can track all this into a dashboard. I'm not going to go ahead and open it up right now. But you can kind of see the idea. You can text as well. You can do group video calls. One of the things that we learned early on was at one of our early pilots, a guy was calling every day at 11:30. Okay, well, what was the trigger at 11:29 that did that? So we're able to see that pattern, then actually explore and figure out what was causing him to make that call every day. So going through that, a couple other features, and I'm not going to get too deep into the platform. That could take a while, and I'm happy to do a much deeper dive with folks. One of the things that we learned with Jake, who's out in the Outback, is that these are individuals that may not be comfortable making a call, but we found that they would go in and set a status. And in Jake's case, okay, maybe I'm not having a great day. Okay. So we give Jake the ability to red light, yellow light, green light, and that's going to appear over on his coach's or support person's phone. Maybe that person needs a drive-by or a call. One of the new things that we just introduced for people like Jake that we learned early on is there are routines and activities that can be implemented by the organization, but what about if they wanted to create their own routines? Okay, so we've now got a way where they could go in and create their own private routines, morning, evening, whatever they need to help them function. And those routines are private and secure. The organization cannot see the details. We had a lot of feedback from participants who wanted to use it, but wanted not to share that information with the organization that was sponsoring that. So you can now actually do that. Last but not least, one of the things that happened during COVID when we started working with service organizations is that we had a number ask us if they could use the platform to actually manage their job coaches or their direct service professionals. And the good news is that you can. So over here on this phone, you can see all the clients that Bill is managing. Well, okay. So Bill's boss is also managing him and reminding him about whatever it is that they need to be doing. One of the issues that we learned about was people making sure that they're inputting their time and client notes into a portal. So Justin, that was a whole lot of stuff. I thought I'd take a breath here real quick and see if there's any questions while I've got the phones up before I go through the rest of it.
Yeah. So I guess one of the questions that came in by text, not in the chat, to me was, it sounds like you're have more of a B2B model where you work with an organization to roll this out to multiple individuals, as opposed to a B2C model where you just have an app that one person can go buy,
Yep.
right? Or
we actually started in B2C, and we did pilots with groups of families, and
okay.
We learned a lot from that. But we also learned that organizations is where the concentration of activity is. So right now we are B2B, but we are also looking at creating a version of this that would be potentially a reimbursable model.
Yep.
And that's probably going to happen in the next 6 to 9 months.
Outstanding. And then we just had a question come in. How many people are using the system, and how many different types of diagnoses?
We're at about 20 locations globally. Right now, we've got a little under 1,000 subscribers. Most of the organizations we start with start small and then start building. In terms of diagnoses, that's not necessarily something that our clients share with us, but we're running the gamut on neurodiversity. We have people with Downs, we have people with IDD. We're looking to find ways where we could actually help. We've had some interest from hearing impaired and visually impaired. We're not there yet feature-wise, but we're also looking to go in that direction.
All right. We did have a question come in, and I apologize. B2B, when I was saying that, means that that their primary business model is to sell to a business from a business, instead of selling from a business to a client specifically, right?
Right. That's correct. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Our clients, and I've got a slide on this, run the gamut from big employers like DXC to service organizations, when we run the gamut of service organizations. Okay. And then we're also working with a couple of colleges and universities where they're actually using this for research, and or for Stanford, we're actually going to use it for internship programs.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
So let me keep rolling here to make sure we get our timing right. Okay. For all you geeks out there, quick, we are a cloud-based service. We use Google. Some of our stuff is going to be in AWS, but we are a platform. We are looking to integrate with other platforms. We're now talking to other companies in the area of residential care, senior care, believe it or not, military recruiting, and a number of others, where a digital coaching platform would be a part of it. And then we are also integrating a variety of other platforms. We use Twilio, for example, for our video calling. We're building out an integration with Salesforce.com. So we are really focused on the platform part of this and the technology that can be used within other types of solutions. Like I said, wide variety of organizations using it now, from employers to service organizations to government. We're working on a big pilot in Australia where they support about 250,000 people a year into disability employment. And again, because of COVID, a number of these organizations have had to rethink how they do support and engagement with job coaches, and how some of that's got to be done virtually. With University of Virginia, we're working on a project, for example, to help recruit and support people with neurodiverse backgrounds into data science, for example. So runs the gamut. Like I said, use cases right now are employment, residential, and academic. We just started, we're starting to work in a couple of residential areas. We just launched a program with Best Buddies, for example. And then, like I mentioned, what we're doing with the Australian government and job coaching. And a typical program could look something like this, where we've got pre-employment content. So we're setting up reminders. Hey, did you do this today? Did you do that? As one of our pilot administrators said to me, I think it was someone at Melwood, he goes, we average about 15 phone calls a week reminding people that are in our programs to do stuff done. Can we automate that through the app? And of course, the answer is yes, you can. So we, as my wife originally called this, but we didn't name it that, we're the Naginator. And that's what we end up doing in some of these situations. And then for onboarding, I showed you an onboarding routine for a particular group. Again, every onboarding thing is going to be different. So how do we continue to reinforce those executive functioning skills? And then very importantly, what we've also learned is that the mental health issues, especially when one gets into a job, are big. So we've been building out content for well-being and other sustainment types of content to help people stay within jobs. And it's same thing in residential. It's a different set of content. Like I said, many organizations bring their own stuff to this, and then we integrate it into the platform. And what we're doing for organizations, it varies. For DXC, it was all about how do we reduce workplace incidents? How do we get those meltdowns down into a more manageable way? And we were able to do that, reduce their issues by about 30%. For an organization like College Living Experience, it was all about how do we drive independence. And they just, we've been working with them for a number of years. They just, in the last week or two, they're going to redo their structure where they're no longer have to do, knocking on doors at the apartments. We're doing that, all of that through LifeSherpa. And for an organization like Best Buddies, for job coaching, it's really about how do we increase, the caseload without actually causing more issues for the job coach. Job coaching is really hard right now, finding people. So what we're doing is really help them make it easier for the 80% of their caseloads that probably just need a light touch. And this also mirrors what we're finding in Australia. So our mission is to change lives. We want to be at 50,000 subscribers using the platform in the next few years. We know that if we got 50,000, we're actually impacting 2 to 4x that, the parents and all the others that are involved. We're looking for more opportunities for organizations to use the platform for research so we can create more evidence-based practices that the entire ecosystem can utilize. And we're looking to build a software company where we're actually employing a number of these individuals in software testing and other roles. So that's our mission. The way we work with organizations is we do pilot programs for service organizations. Those pilots are free. We look to do small ones in the 2 to 5 range over a 30, 60-day period to help understand how they actually work and how they can use the platform. You're going to need a champion, and people are going to need up-to-date phones. That's pretty much the major requirement. And then generally, a lot of our clients start small, and then to grow, that averages about, our minimum price is about $500 a month. For a caseload of 10, administrators and coaches are included in that. But a lot of our organizations are now up to using this for 30 to 40 clients at any given time. If you need something larger than that, we generally do a custom proposal. So that's my shtick, Dustin. How'd I do? What time is it?
Amazing. Like you're right on.
Oh, hey. All right.
Yeah, you said 12:20. It's 12:26, but we stopped for about 5 minutes. So no worries.
Sorry about that.
Great. No, it's all good. We actually had a question come in about HIPAA. Can you speak a little bit about how you handle security and protected information?
We are, well, since we're working with the Australian government, I can tell you, I haven't seen a higher bar on security and privacy. We have to host all of our data in Australia, for example. So we are very, very security conscious. We are GDPR compliant. We are HIPAA compliant. We're very, we have single sign-on depending on the organization. But that's security and privacy are a big part of what we're doing and our ongoing roadmap.
Outstanding. Yeah, I assume so, but it's a good question to ask.
Yep.
We actually had a comment in here that this technology is life-changing, and are you looking to expand your team?
Oh, absolutely. If I can expand the customer base. Well, yes, we are. We're in that phase where we're going to be looking for other people, probably in product management and marketing, quite frankly. But yeah, I'd love to, if anybody's interested in working with us, we'd love to talk to you.
Great. I think it's amazing. I personally invited a few people to this tech huddle today, so I love what you guys are doing. One quick question that I had: when you were talking about the pod of people, 3 to 5 people, and building out the prompting routines and things of that nature with an organization, can the organization, through the admin portal, build out those customized routines themselves, kind of on
Oh
the
yeah,
fly?
that's what we want. We
Yeah.
would have to be charging a lot more if
you were building each one. Yeah.
If we were administrating this for you. And that's why I said that the big investment that a lot of organizations struggle with is, and what happens is we'll have a meeting at the C-suite and everything's great. Okay. But then you're going to need somebody with the bandwidth and the wherewithal to be trained. And generally that training could take anywhere from 4 to 8 hours over the course of X amount of time. But that's why we do the pilots, because that helps us figure out how it works and then who we're working with. And once we get you trained, then you can go in and do all of the manipulations, setting up clients, content, et cetera, et cetera. We want you to be able to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Great. Well, I do have to give a special thank you. Julie Daly from Ken Crest in Pennsylvania introduced Doug to me in Disability Cocoon, and just wanted to give her a shout out. So thank you, Julie. I don't think you're on, but if you watch the recording, we did thank you.
It was very nice meeting all of you. Thank you for listening to me drone on today.
Doug, really appreciate your time, and thank you. Everyone else, thanks for joining us. We do have another tech huddle scheduled for the week after next, posted on disabilitycocoon.com. So go check that out. And Doug, thank you again.
Okay. Bye now.
Have a great day, everyone.